Hi. So I had a different idea for this video, but on Friday I was invited to a community discussion, and the things that I heard were really moving, and I wanted to go ahead and have it be this video. I had to cut a lot for time, so I'm going to keep this short and just get it started.
It's good. Oh no, we think it's good for people to talk to their neighbors. The conversation is very good and important thing, and especially when you're in the same room and it's not through keyboards and miles of distance. So we've had different seminars. I call it a seminar once a month. Have people over, and we like to practice hospitality, like for folks to come into our home and share a meal. And we've done that tonight. I'm going to let Zach say whatever he has to say about our new speaker.
What do I have to say? She's a dear friend of mine. I share an office with Morgan and work with her. Morgan helped start Decarcerate, which is the group that I work with, a group that's working to end mass incarceration in Arkansas. Maybe could you start us in some kind of guided meditation, and then you can say whatever you want to say.
Cool, yeah. Did everybody notice about her except me? I'm excited.
Apparently so, yeah.
Cool, yeah, well, so I'll just say, so that this isn't totally out of the blue, I think the reason that Zach asked me to do this is because the organization that I work for, that I'm the director of, one of the programs, the programs that we offer is meditation support in prisons and jails. So anyway, so that's why we're meditating. It's because this is one of the things that I do with folks who are incarcerated. So.
Killed and omitted, I know the blind man sees.
I'll start telling you a little about the organization. It was founded 23 years ago by a woman named Anna Cox, and she met a man on death row named Frankie Parker, who was scheduled to be executed and was wanting to prepare for his death. Frankie was executed in 1996, and after he was executed, there was a story, I think in the New York Times, about his death, because he was really well known and really loved. So anyway, so there's this article written in the New York Times, and it named Anna as one of his teachers. So people started writing to her all over the country saying, could you be my teacher? Could you prepare me to die? And I will lead different kinds of meditation, different kinds of meditation, and it's always guided. And I think that that's important in a place that's sort of, when we also have a more structured class, which is the conflict resolution class, and it's a 9-week program. You sign up and you commit for those 9 weeks, and in that 9-week time, we practice and talk about and do homework and do role play with conflict, and how do we peacefully work through conflict? How do we recognize the ways that we contribute and perpetuate violence, and how do we recognize the ways that others are doing that and kind of meet them in a more compassionate way? I don't know that I can say this enough, but like, prisons and jails are really challenging environments. They are really hard for the people who live there and for the people who work there, and to be really like stripped and broken down of beauty and humanity.
Zach had asked about your experiences last week. He said if you were comfortable.
So Zach is talking about the executions that happened last April, and I thought that I was going to be involved in sort of the abolish movement as an advocate about a week before, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks, maybe just a week before the scheduled execution of Jack Jones. to be a spiritual advisor to him. And Jack Jones was Buddhist. So as soon as I sort of discovered that this was going to be my role, I reached out to Anna, of course, and I said, what do I do? You know, how do you be with someone, not when they're dying, but when they're being killed by the state? So yeah, she kind of guided me through sort of some of the logistics, like this is what you should expect the room to look like. This is, you know, these are the things that the correction officers will say to you, and here are the ways that you'll want to advocate for the person that you're with. But then she also really walked me through kind of the spiritual process. Like these are the things that you can do for this person, you know, as he's making that transition. So I met Jack 2 or 3 days before he was executed, allowed at that point to sort of visit with whomever for however long they wanted. So I went and I visited with Jack for several hours. I've never been locked in a cell with someone. And it was really lovely. Jack was open. He was terrified for me. He didn't want me to be there. I was the same age as his daughter, who he just met the day before. And we talked. Mostly he talked. He was really a talker. And I listened. And towards the end of our meeting, I asked him what he wanted from me. You know, what if he wanted me to bring anything, like what I could do to be there and to be supportive of him the day that he was going to die. And really, like, all he wanted was to hang out, which I was cool with. So I showed up that morning pretty early. I think I got there at 10, and he was just waking up. And the room, the holding cell, there are 2 cells, and Marcel was in one, and Jack was in the other. And there's about a 2-foot hallway that sort of goes along the entire building, and there's a little like nook where a correction officer sat and was responsible for recording everything. And then they were both in cells. They couldn't see each other, but we could hear each other. They were both in cells that had a layer of bars and then sort of crossed wire. And then there was about another 2 feet of space where I could look in, and there was a chair. And so I sat that the entire day. We just sat and talked. At that point, all of them were like pretty heavily medicated, and he and Marcel were just laughing and like, you know, talking to each other, and I could really feel the friendship that they had created. They were sort of used to like this friendship where they didn't actually see each other, you know, couldn't physically touch, but they were passing snacks. Marcel had a bunch of snacks that he bought as kind of his last hurrah, and he bought them to share between the 2 of them. And so they were passing candy bars and sodas. I think they were drinking Mountain Dew all day, something like that. And then at one point, like, Jack passed some instant coffee to Marcel. And Marcel was very charismatic. He was just loud and boisterous, and you just wanted to like hang out with him. He was a really, really sweet guy. And so it made a lot of sense that he had all of these people. Jack, on the other hand, you know, he had already spoken to his family. He said his goodbyes, and it was really just the 2 of us for the entire. He had to me, an interesting relationship with Wendy Kelly, the director of the Department direction. And he felt like they were friends. And so she asked him to put a stent in his veins because they were worried that they would not be able to find him. And so he agreed to do that. So they took him back, I think at 2:30, and did not bring him back until 5. So he spent a very long time being poked and prodded to find a vein. And at that point he was very heavily medicated. So when he came back, he only had an hour to change and to eat, and then to take him to the execution chamber and to write his last words. So we did all of that while he was pretty heavily medicated, but he did manage to kind of stay with it. And I only knew Jack for these 2 days, but spending those 2 days with him, kind of what I got from him, from his perspective, was that he was extremely remorseful for what he did. As soon as he was arrested, he admitted to the charges, and sort of spent the rest of his time saying like, yes, I did this, and I'm really sorry. He really wanted to live his life in prison without causing harm. So I was with him while he was executed. There were about 16 people in the room. And I think that the process took about 20 minutes. It was unclear to me what was happening. That he was behind a glass wall, and so I don't know when drugs were administered or anything like that. But I sat with him, and I told him where I would be, and I told him that I would be there with him. And I think that he had really made peace with the execution. I think that for him, the biggest challenge of it was that he knew that it was going to negatively affect and cause harm to the people who were doing it. I think he really, as a person who had taken someone else's life, he was quite aware of the impact of doing that, and he didn't really want that to sort of weigh on other people.
They were going to make some money on the Salton Sea, though she knows that I'm lying sweet. And who knows, may I'll come back as a dog or a stone.
So I had to cut a lot. It was an hour-long discussion, and I had to make it try and fit as much as I could into 15 minutes of time. But I think that really the point of the videos is to give you a glimpse of something that somebody's doing in this state that's really inspiring and moving in some way, or just people who are doing things with a lot of passion. And I think that Morgan has all of that, along with Candace and her husband, who are holding these discussions in their home. I hope that this encourages you to look more into Compassion Works for All or Decarcerate, find more information, maybe inspires you to go ahead and initiate correspondence with the prisoner if you think that that's something you could be comfortable with. And if not, maybe it just introduced you to a different way to think about the benefits of meditation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.